So, well, Grandma, what do you think of Terminator Genisys?
I enjoyed the story. I thought it was very interesting. I It was interesting to see the original Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, back in the swing of things, trying to complete his original mission of protecting Sarah Connor and somehow sort of learning to be human. She kept saying several times, she was trying to teach him how to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they emphasized that with the very forced smile or grin or whatever it was, that looked so weird.
He was definitely one of the pluses.
Yes. The rest of the film was so filled with conflict, explosions, fights,
Mm-hmm.
difficulty, going from one place to another. I'm always concerned about the collateral damage to ordinary people on the street
Mm-hmm.
in these action films that we seem to be seeing here lately, because here we are first we were in LA and then we were in San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and they did show some collateral damage.
They didn't show how it affected the people,
No,
though.
they didn't show any dying people. Well, like on the Golden Gate Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
when they landed there,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they later when they were in the school bus and trying to escape from their pursuer. I'm always concerned about the collateral damage. It's so far removed from reality, from
Mm-hmm.
what would really happen. Although it was interesting during the progression of the action that real people did come in from time to time, and tried to deal with what they discovered. They got arrested a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and the EMS came and took them to the hospital when they.
I thought the film had a lot of good elements to it. Again, it had a lot of good action, had a lot of good actors, cinematography, the set design, everything. I mean, it had everything you needed to be a good movie. And the story had a lot of good elements to it too. I mean, as it was starting off, I knew that it was sort of a reboot of the whole series. So they were going to try to sort of tie up loose ends and redo the story, but a different way, with some of the same characters. Again, the Schwarzenegger character.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a challenge ahead of them to try to bring all of that together and to make it, go forward into, I guess, what they hope is to be a continuing Terminator series.
Well, for example, the voiceover at the beginning, where he sets the stage.
Well, when it was starting up, I actually was quite encouraged. I thought that, well, they're doing a really good job here. It's like, they're explaining it very well, so that again the audience could understand what was going on. But as it went on, after the very first bit of time travel, the story just got way too confusing.
It was very convoluted. I agree with that. I think you'd have to see it another time, to really straighten out. Okay, where are we? When are we?
Yeah, even another time, I don't know that you could quite figure out what they were talking about, because they were talking about essentially, I think, 4, almost 5 different time periods.
Mm-hmm.
And how they all fit together and how they worked and everything like that. Again, it was just not very well done. The
ability of the non-human characters to rebuild themselves,
Hmm.
to shapeshift.
Right.
The special effects guys got that down really well.
Yes.
I thought that was really well done. They were able to convince us that this was possible.
Well, don't you think though? After a while, they did it so many times, frankly, in this movie, where the Terminators sort of fell apart and then reconstituted themselves, that it got to the point where it was not that interesting anymore. It was not. I wouldn't say boring, but it wasn't. You took it for granted.
Right. Okay, he's not really incapacitated. He's
Yes.
gonna come back.
Yes.
Yeah. There was the one where one of them was shot right through the chest. Where in a human would be the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and he fell out. And I thought, oh, well, that's what you have to do. You have to hit him exactly, where a human would. But it didn't work.
Sort of like a solution to a vampire.
That's right.
You found a solution.
You have to shoot him in the head. That's the only way.
Well, that's zombies. I think it's vampires. It's a stake through the heart or something like that, isn't it?
That's right. The Walking Dead, you have to get them through the head,
Right.
And that puts them out of their misery. See?
So again, if all you're looking for is a lot of action and that's
Explosions.
all the entertainment you want, and that's fine. But again, if you wanted to really try to follow the story, I just don't think that you could do it in this movie.
You've brought up a point about the end. If this goes into another story, what do they do about the way they ended the film? Can I talk about that now? Should I give away the ending?
I think that they're basically again, we don't need to go into it in a lot of detail, but again, they cleared up a lot of the sort of loose ends, you might say. They still have more work to do if they were to do another movie. But again,
yes, because at the end, I can say this much about it: you felt like it was not a period, end, final. This is it.
Right.
You didn't feel that at the end of the film.
Well, actually, I was hopeful that it was the end because they did what they needed to do to and you sort of thought, oh well, maybe they've succeeded here, but maybe they haven't, as the ending sort of shows.
Yes.
So what would you say to wrap it up?
I enjoyed the film. If you go expecting a lot of plot, and you're not going to get that. There's a lot of action. The characters are interesting. I would give it thumbs up. I agree.
Okay. Yeah,
What about you?
I think that it is good, but by no means great. Again, it had a lot of good points to it, but it has a lot of problems in terms of its story.
Yeah.
Don't try too hard to understand it.
You'll feel like, why can't I understand this? Okay. No, it was too convoluted to understand easily.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay.